Hello everyone, Brett Settles from Revizto here, and we're going to continue on with our Revizto 5 tutorial series covering the new functionality. Today we're going to be talking about the selection inspector. Now the selection inspector is going to involve having prior knowledge of the search sets, the find objects, as well as the object tree. So if you haven't looked at those tutorials yet, I would definitely suggest doing so. The selection inspector essentially reveals a certain amount of properties depending on the preset that we use that was covered in the properties tutorial and displays that data no matter how we select those objects. So from a high level, if I select this exterior wall, I'm immediately going to see everything about that wall, and I can even change my preset to show more relevant data about that wall. So going in here, I of course can right click, unselect, and that selection will be removed from my selection inspector. We can use control select to select multiple items, such as this wall, this wall, this wall, and this wall. And then we will see information about all of those walls. This can be done with any object inside of a Revizto project. Now, what we also have the ability to do is get this information out to a CSV file. The CSV file will be formatted exactly how you see the table in our selection inspector. And this is why presets are so important. Not only do property presets allow certain individuals to get to the properties that are important to them, but they can also be set up as a means to export and get that data into the correct format so that we can use it for cut lists or any sort of Excel spreadsheet, tracking assets, anything of that nature. So another added functionality there from the selection inspector. In addition to that, we can use this to create a different couple types of issues. Now, there are issues inside of design and construction projects that have everything in one place, and that's very easy to do visually. But what about those problems that have elements in multiple areas? Or what if we want to group components together in order to get those into a single issue? For example, if I select here, I have two options for issue creation. I have a single stamp, and what this single stamp will do is it will create a single issue that will include all of these elements. So if I choose this here, I then choose a stamp. So I'm going to go up and say model issue, and I'm going to drop it right there on that building. Now what you'll see is that if I go to the issue tracker and reset these filters here, I'm going to see that I have this model issue here. And if I look and expand into the objects, I can actually see the individual walls as well as take a look at those individual wall properties. So it allows me to quickly go in there and tie actual object data to the issue, to the reporting, and to the communication cycle here. Really bringing together the way that you communicate about them in VDC directly to the model elements. Now, jumping back into 3D, there's also another item that I can do here. And I'm going to mix together a few of the things that we learned before to show how this works. So as I unselect all, I'm actually going to open up my search sets, and I'm going to select these equipment fans. Now, these equipment fans are spread out all over the project. And so, but I know that there has been a specification change, or we're using a different vendor, or some reason that I'm going to have to go in there, tag these, and make sure that all of our data, our models, and our drawings reflect this change. What I'm going to do in this situation is select all these pumps and choose the Multistamp command. What this is going to do is create an issue at every single one of these pumps. That way we can make sure that we hit all of them, and all of them are tracked as a separate issue. I'm going to select this here, and we're going to go through and find an issue that is relevant to that. So we're going to say fan problem. It is going to create 11 stamps. And whenever I select that, it will go through and create those 11 fan stamps. Now you can see that each one of those has been automatically tagged by using the data in the selection inspector. And I can visit the location of each one of these very easily by using the issue tracker. In addition to that, I can expand and actually see the properties of that given fan. So if I want to change to something like the duct, or maybe even go to default and dive into some of my other properties here, I completely have the ability to do that. So very powerful ways from the selection inspector to create issues based on the model data. And if you notice, anytime I make a selection from a search set, it automatically populates the selection inspector. I also have this capability from the object tree. So if I open up the object tree and I start selecting these items as well, what you're going to see is let's go ahead and go with this full electrical model, or we'll go with the mechanical model, structural model, architectural model. We can see all of that and actually see that element populated down here. So the selection inspector is a very powerful tool for using the data as you select it in any of the various ways that we offer it inside of Revizto. Keep in mind, you can also customize the various fields that you see in the property editor. So if I want to go in and add a new property preset, I can say export. And in that export, I can begin to go in and say, all right, what type of information do I want to export? Maybe I want to bring the GUID in. Maybe I want to bring in the material. Maybe I want to bring in, any of these items. And as you can see, I go through here. Maybe we want to say location, right? So project location, time zone, or anything that we would want to bring in here to show on these favorite properties, such as, maybe geometry is a good one. And here we can see all of the elements exported from that actual piece of information, such as number of risers, number of treads. Maybe we're searching for, stairs. These can be completely customized, and as we apply them, we can actually see that take place in our selection inspector. We can also import and export these settings. If I jump into some of the other ones, you'll actually see how those are constructed, such as what do people working with duct in the field want? They want the item name, the type, the system, the area, the flow, the length, height. All of that can be put right here, and we can even add additional properties. And that can all be worked into a preset. So extremely powerful tool that allows us to navigate, manipulate, create issues, export data inside of Revizto 5. In the next tutorial, we will be covering the appearance profiler and how that works in Revizto 5. So once again, thank you all for your time, and hope to see you in these next tutorials.